obviously now today to talk about your experiences of going to Man United over the great number of years between you that you've all been going.
Yes.
When was your first game, or when did you start going?
Well, our first game was probably 1956, 57. I think we went to.
Can't actually remember.
I think it was an Aston Villa game.
Was it?
Yeah, we used to go to school together. That's how we met, and we actually supported Bolton Wanderers first. We used to go with Vera's dad. My dad used to go to Manchester United, and he came home, and it all sounded really exciting. And Bolton was a bit, quiet like. So one day we said, "Shall we go to United? Shall we see what that's like?" So not to upset her dad, we went 1 week to Bolton and 1 week to United. But then after going to United quite a few times, we thought...
The atmosphere of everything there as well.
We decided we wanted to support United, so we carried on from there, and that's how we became Manchester United fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jackie, you started going in 54?
Yes, I went to work at National Provincial Bank in Manchester, and one of the staff there, a lady, she was actually a Blackburn supporter. So she said, "Would you like to come to a match?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." I won't support Blackburn because my dad actually supported Manchester City, would you believe? But I preferred Manchester United. And so I went to a match with her to Blackburn, and then, was it Blackburn or was it? Yes, I think it was. And then after that, one of the girls at work said, "Would you like to go and watch Manchester United?" So I said, "Yes, I'd love to actually, because I like to be different from my father." And so I went to a couple of Manchester United games. I can't quite remember which they were, first of all. And then that was the start of it. I just liked going to Old Trafford, and that was it. I stood not where Chris was, obviously. We didn't know each other then, but used to stand directly opposite the tunnel and got right to the front if I could, because being only small, couldn't see very much when there were lots of people stood in front of me. And I stood there for a long time, until after Munich.
And so you obviously, when you were going there, you were watching the Busby Babes.
Yes.
And getting all that.
Oh yes,
Yes, definitely.
And were you aware of how good? Because obviously you were still young girls, but you were aware of how good the team was.
They was brilliant. Yes, like Duncan Edwards, Roger Byrne, and Tommy Taylor, all those.
Head the ball, Tommy Taylor.
Billy Whelan.
Yeah, they were all good, wasn't they?
Yeah, very good players. He just knew that they were going to do well.
Yes.
Did you feel that as well when you saw the pre-Munich team, how good they were?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would have thought that a European Cup was imminent at,
some point, yes,
playing.
definitely, yes, because they were so good.
Yeah, and they got so many people there. Yes. Me and Vera once went to Manchester City to watch Manchester United, and it was when they had a 75,000 crowd there, when they had everybody in impacting. We were behind the goals at City, and all I could see was along the line was Roger Byrne. The crowd was going up and down, wasn't it?
Swaying
up and down. And it was a bit frightening because we were only young.
Yes.
And when the match was over, Vera had lost a shoe. And we went round the corner looking for a shoe. And there was this, you'd never seen a pile of shoes you'd never seen in all your life, and bags, wasn't there, that they'd put there. Yeah. This was at the old Manchester City ground at Platt Lane. One say it was at Main Road, one say. Yeah. They don't have those, that type of thing now. That experience now. No, it was frightening when you were in that crowd, and we were only young, weren't we?
Yeah. So everything was, going at that stage, everything was, there was no tickets, you just queued.
You just queued and
paid at the turnstile and just went wherever you want.
So that's where it comes from, that you were always there very early.
Well, it was there at 11 o'clock. Yeah. Every old match was there at 11 o'clock.
But it was
for the turnstiles to open.
It was pre-Munich, after Munich that we really went early, wasn't it?
Yes,
Don't think we did it before Munich, it was after Munich.
Yes.
And Chris stood at the top of the plate, we was at the other end. So me and Vera was always at the other end, and we'd stay there from 11 o'clock, and then, what do you think? The turnstile next door had opened. Well, we really got fed up of it because it was every week. There used to be an office on the side, so we decided we'd go to the office, and then Les Olive was then secretary. He took over secretary then. So we said, could we speak to Les Olive? And he said, well, he's not in, you know what I mean? And then one day he walked along with his Mac on the show, and he said, I believe you want to see us girls, don't you? And we said, well, yeah. We said, we come here at 11 o'clock every day, and every Saturday. And then we have to run like mad down the steps for our place. We don't think it's really very fair. So from then on, they opened our turnstile first, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
They always opened our turnstile first. So can you imagine that happening today? At Manchester United, you can get the club secretary to open your turnstile first.
No, it would never happen.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It started a habit for you to be there before the turnstile as well. Cause
Yes.
I remember
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
when it went all seated, Chris,
Yes.
you'd still be there.
Yes, you would.
Even
Yeah.
though your seat was there in the
Yeah.
position. You know, when you went as a kid, you went there before the turnstile was open because you needed to get your spot.
To get to the place.
But even though you had your spot, you still went early.
Yeah.
It's just
Just a habit.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is how we got to know the players a little bit, really, because we went before they had the lunch. The coach would come, wouldn't they, for the lunch? We'd all stand together, wouldn't we? The coach would come and we'd wave them off for lunch, wouldn't we? And that's how we'd speak to them then. Paddy Crerand would be on, and Noel Cantwell when they was in that day, wasn't they? Yeah, Johnny Giles, do you remember those? Yeah.
So you used to stand, so you'd be there early, the players would be going out for their warm-up, and you'd speak to them then, they come over and talk to you.
Well, just say hello. And
Yeah, that was when they was
As
getting
they're
on the
going
coach
on
for
and
lunch,
off
you
the
see, we were
field.
that early, weren't we?
Yeah.
Mm.
And then after games, you'd wait for them. I remember Jackie was saying that you'd wait when the cars were pulling out.
yeah, they used to go.
Well, the cars were just on like the car park now where they were, and some of them even was at walking. I mean, what about Scanlon? I don't think he had a car, did he? He was always walking and things like that, didn't he? You know, they'd walk home and.
Yeah. Well, they chat to you and you had great access.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The players were very,
very.
very
Chat
friendly
with
to
you.
Very friendly.
Yeah.
Mm.
And because I remember when you were saying that when people were driving out, when Bobby Charlton had children, you buy them.
Yes, when Bobby Charlton's first daughter was born, yes, we bought a suit for a little baby clothes for the little girl, and he'd stop and chat to us, and I'd just pass it over and say, this is for your little baby, can you give it to Norma? And he said, thank you very much, that's very kind. And that's it.
That's right, yeah.
And another time you were saying Nobby Styles stopped and
after the World Cup,
showed his World Cup.
Nobby Styles stopped, didn't he, and showed us his medal.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
This is how I got the Roger Byrne. I went to Roger Byrne. Me and Vera went to Roger Byrne's wedding. He got married at St Mary's in Droylsden. You found out that it was there, so we went along, didn't we? With my little brownie camera and took these photographs. And then after the wedding at some point, I'd got them developed. And he was coming out of the little side thing, so we ran after him. And he was quite reserved, really, Roger Byrne, he was very fast. He had a little black Morris Minor, and he'd get in that car, and his wife pulled him because it was obviously a photo of their wedding. And she said, "Oh, toot this," and I said, "I did." So he signed it. That's how I got it signed, and she signed it, didn't she?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it.
And that's the one.
Yeah, that's it.
Happy days.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of your friendship with the players, tell us about when you used to go to away games on the train, and people like Bobby and Bill Folks. Is it right they used to sit with you on the train and?
No, they used to be in first class, didn't they?
They used to have meals on the train and things, and then afterwards they'd just come and walk out the carriages and the corridor at the side, and they'd just come up and down the corridor, and if they see you.
Well, they used to go for tea, didn't they?
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
And Bill Folks used to always say, "Why don't you come in here, girls? Because we won't be coming back."
Yeah.
Because they used to go up in the.
So they'd let you take their
They used to let us take the seat. Yeah.
They knew you from where you
Yeah.
stood,
Yes.
so this is
Yeah.
all-
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And we
they-
used to sit in
They
there.
were very kind and friendly towards you.
Very
and
much so.
appreciated you going to all the matches and everything. They really did.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember when we were sat in talking to Nobby Lawton. Do you remember Nobby Lawton?
Gosh, yes.
Alex Dawson.
Alex
And
Dawson,
George Best
yes.
I remember George Best being in the corridor, and we were like, just like this, we were just talking to George Best, weren't we? And he was lovely, wasn't he? Lovely looking lad, wasn't he?
They were really, really kind
weren't they?
to the supporters. They really appreciated you going to watch them. They really did.
Well, they came
They
from
did.
the same backgrounds and
Exactly,
everything, didn't you?
yes.
You were living on
Yes.
the same streets.
Yes.
So many players were from the area,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, you were kindred spirits in that sense.
Yes.
But they were on the
Yeah.
pitch and you were in the
Yeah.
stands. In that
Yes.
sense. Going back then, just to talk about Munich when it happened, do you all remember
Oh,
where
yeah.
exactly you were when things
Yes.
happened? You
Yeah.
said to me that you were on a bus.
Well, I was at work then, and got on the bus going home and looked out of the window and saw the newspaper thing, and that there'd been the crash, and I just burst into tears. Got off the bus and got a paper, and then I just went home and was miserable all day.
I know.
My mother would-
Well, I know, I
My
remember
mother
it
would
because
say.
my sister worked then and I was still at school. So my sister walked in from work, she worked in Manchester, and she said, I think there's been a crash, it's in all the placards. So we put the television on. Oh, and it was such a shock, but it took hours and hours to come through, a long while to get really proper
Anything.
information.
That's what people wouldn't understand today. Now
No.
with Sky News
Oh,
and social
no.
media, that
It-
you'd have somebody on the spot with a camera.
Yeah.
Yes, there's somebody there.
Yeah,
Yes,
it took
no.
such a long while.
You just knew there'd been a crash.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
knew
And
there'd
you
been a
people
crash.
died, but you
Yeah,
didn't know who,
and
how many.
no, it was
No.
very slow, the
No.
information.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'd come through, like, say, Roger Byrne was alive, and at the end of the day, he wasn't
He
alive.
wasn't, yes.
It took so long,
Yeah.
didn't it?
To
And I
find out.
remember feeling, I couldn't breathe. I remember opening my mother's back door
So-
because I felt so as I just couldn't
Dreadful.
breathe. It was just
Dreadful, yeah.
terrible, you know what I mean?
Very upset.
Then I went to school the next day, and obviously at school everybody knew I supported United, and I must have been that distressed that they sent me home. I remember them sending me home from school because I was that
Right,
distressed
yeah,
about
sure.
it. So that's my memory of
That's
it.
my memory was
Yeah.
I worked for Beecham's, the Lucasade factory, and I was in what they call the filling room,
Right.
where they did all the filling of the bottles. And then I can remember being on this machine, and a boy out of the warehouse came in and said there's been a crash, and it's Manchester United team, and they're all dead. Every one of them are dead. Well, I couldn't work. I just went to pieces. So they took me off the machine, and I went into a little room there, and they said, I think you better go home. And that's what I did, and I just couldn't believe it. I just went to pieces.
Yeah.
But,
Because in them
that's my
days,
memory
because what
of
it was,
that.
you couldn't phone your friend up and say,
There's
oh,
no
what do you
phone,
think?
no,
Well, nobody had
nothing.
any phones.
No.
My mother never had a phone.
No.
Your mother, you
No.
didn't. Nobody had a phone,
No.
did they?
No.
Nobody had phones
But
in the
it's hard to
house.
believe
So it's
today
hard,
that
hard
you've
to
not
believe
got
that you
that.
couldn't phone somebody up and say, oh, God, you heard the news, what do you think of that? Or some support from your friend. You just couldn't do that.
No.
Did any of you go to the ground or go to any of the...
No, I didn't. I was too upset.
didn't.
No.
I
I
just
was too
didn't.
upset.
Because obviously there's famous pictures, obviously all the...
Oh, yeah, there
coffins
were a
coming
lot
in
of...
on the-
Yeah.
Well, people who live
Yeah.
locally and everything would have gone, yeah, but
It was just too upsetting.
To
lived
go,
quite a way away, so it would
Mm.
have been quite a journey to get there.
Well, a lot of them. There
When
was
you're
at
so
Southern
upset,
Cemetery,
it was
wasn't there?
just dreadful.
And do you think the experience of that kind of increased your love for the club and your feelings entrenched? Because obviously you're young people going
I
through...
think so.
Oh,
yes.
probably so.
going
Yes.
through,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, we loved them anyway. We were
Exactly.
we absolutely
Yes.
loved
Yeah.
it at that time,
Yeah.
going
We
to
just-
football,
Just
and that
wondering
really,
what they were going to
Yeah.
do, how they were going to pull through and
Yeah.
everything.
yeah.
And could you see the obviously fairly dark moments? You don't think the club can come back?
Bounce.
Well,
no,
You don't,
no,
you don't.
no,
You
'cause-
just think that's the end.
Just
Yeah.
because
That's
all
the
the
end of Manchester
because all the
United, don't you?
programme when it came out, it was just blank, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
all
the
just
team
blank.
sheet
The
was
team
just
sheet was blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that day when we went, when that first match back,
yeah.
oh, it was such an eerie silence on
awful.
that ground. It was. I just
Awful.
can't tell you. It just. Oh, it was so sad. It was so
It's like when
eerie.
you have the minute silence.
It was
now.
like that.
It was
Yeah.
like that. It
But
was
then
just deathly.
When the
weren't it?
players came out, oh, it was just a roar, wasn't it? You'd
Yeah.
never heard a roar
Yeah.
like it, had you?
Yeah.
I'll never forget it, will
No.
There's
you?
obviously the famous picture of,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
of Chris.
yeah. Of Chris roaring. She is on it, isn't she? Yeah. Yeah.
and Bill Phelps came out.
Yeah.
The first match after Munich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To hold that up.
Yeah.
Chris, just hold that and you can point to yourself on there.
Yeah.
So that's you. Do you remember? You remember that, Chris?
Bill
when
Phelps
when you were
leading them
coming
out, yeah.
I did, yeah.
And you remember your emotions?
You were
just,
there.
Just so
Yeah.
much going through your,
Yeah.
so much going through your mind. I'm sure. Just
Yeah.
to,
Well, it's like this at the Roger Byrne. After we'd gone, we went, in those days, all the footballers, they had their actual phone numbers in the book. I mean, can you imagine it? So you could just phone up. So one day we knew that she'd had this baby. We decided to phone up and ask when the christening had been. And they kept saying, oh, we don't know, we don't know. So one Sunday we went, hello, we said, like, with supporters, do you know when the christening is? And they said, oh, it's today. So me and Vera did no more, but we had to get a bus to Manchester because it was in Flixton. So we got on the bus to Manchester and then out to Flixton, and it was at St Michael's Church in Flixton. And of course, when we got there was just nobody there and nowhere in sight, nobody. But we knew that they lived at Edale Avenue. So we decided to make our way down to Flixton and find Edale Avenue, which we did. And we knocked on the door and we said that we'd phoned up earlier and it's taken us so long to come and we've missed it. And they said, come in. Can you imagine somebody saying this? She'd lost her husband. You can't imagine it, can you? So they invited us in and asked, give us sandwiches.
Yeah, we had sandwiches.
Sandwich. And then the next thing, they gave us the baby to hold, Junior Roger Byrne to hold. And it was a lovely...
That's the ones there, then,
And that, and yeah, but then after we'd rushed out that much that we hadn't taken our camera. So we said to her, could we come back one day and bring our cameras back? So she said yes. So we went back. She took us in a house. She had a. Do you remember? She had a big book. What do you call the book? She had all cuttings in it, you know.
Yeah.
And she showed us
Like
all a scrapbook, and she showed us all these glass things like vases he'd brought back from different places, and I never can get over it. And that she did that, and those are the photographs, like that she let us in, and you can't imagine how upset she must have been. Could you to do that? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so then after Munich, obviously, then coming from kind of the bottom up, as it were, new players came in, likes of Paddy Curran, who was signed on the 5th year of the disaster, and Dennis Law, and so the team started to look up again. So you know, I presume you were starting to see the roots growing again, as
Oh,
it
absolutely.
were.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And that was giving you a lot of
Yes.
Faith and yeah.
comfort that
Albert
that
Cricksall and
we're on our
yeah.
way back,
Yes.
as it were.
Definitely.
And
Yes.
you went 63 Cup final is quite a bit, you know, was quite a big game for
Yes.
Yeah.
all of you.
It was.
It
Yes.
We have, you know, there was the Pathé newsreel, which so there's you're on the Pathé. Turn it to the thing one.
Turn it round.
So you're on the Pathé. You're on the famous Pathé. Did you see yourselves in the cinema when that was on?
No.
I didn't know that was on.
Yeah. No, but it was a great game to be at.
It was a 6-3
Absolutely.
final.
Absolutely.
We were on there singing that hymn that the what did they sing at the final? Abide with me. And the cameraman came in. They had the camera strapped on the back there, and they were coming up and
Yeah, we stood.
I just actually
against
met
the wall,
my
weren't we?
husband, who's now I'd only been going out with him 3 weeks, and he went, "Oh, there's the girl I'm going out with." He said, because I was there singing "Abide with Me" on it. Yeah, I'd only known him
Was
3
that how
weeks.
you had to watch yourselves back in the cinema in those days?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
You had to go
yes.
to the cinema to watch yourself
watch
back.
yeah,
The news.
the
We used to go for the
yeah.
news to watch us.
News,
Yeah,
weren't it?
yeah.
Whereas now everyone it'd be on their own.
Oh, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no such
exactly.
thing as, so the only place was to go to the cinema, wasn't
Yes,
there?
it was.
Yeah.
No social media.
No,
No.
nothing whatsoever. And we used to go to the cinema a lot to watch ourselves, didn't we?
And even in '63, you were saying that you went down
Yeah.
early, as you
We
as
did.
you did.
Yes.
Often when you went to London, you were saying you get an overnight train
Oh, we did.
and sleep.
Yeah.
So
And
this is
sleep
young
in the
girls on their
waiting
own.
room
Yeah.
until
We got in
Yeah.
about
You
half
get-
past
you get a
4.
train down.
and then go
Yeah.
and get some breakfast.
We used to
yeah.
go to Lions Calf, didn't
Lions
we?
Yeah,
Cafe
we did.
and
Yeah.
have breakfast there. Then we used
So
to
you
go
get into
down
London
the
at 4
Mall.
in the morning.
Yeah, half
The
past
day
4.
of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
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 Same
Used
as
to
the
be
game.
sort of a
Yeah.
midnight train from Manchester.
Yeah, we did. Midnight train, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 So
And
we
what
get
did you
into
take with you?
London.
Did you take food? Did you take
No.
anything?
No.
No, nothing.
No.
You just
No,
go sleep
nothing.
in the waiting room.
No.
Yeah.
Just the
No,
really
no,
basics.
Just the basics, didn't we? And then we used to go to Lions Cafe. And I could always remember them
Have
doing them eggs
breakfast.
because they did them in water, didn't
Yeah.
they? Then, not like you'd thinking
Poached
about a
eggs,
poacher.
no.
They were really watery, weren't they? And yeah. I can always remember that. And then we used to say, go down, say, to Buckingham Palace. We'd
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
we'd go a
I'd
bit
say
of
go to the mall
sightseeing,
then,
wouldn't we?
yeah.
Then
We
we'd
did,
go a little bit
yeah.
of
And
sightseeing,
then go to the ground.
then go
This
to the
was all
ground.
going to United was a massive part of your life and of your,
Oh,
of
yeah.
your friendship together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because we not just didn't go to the main match. We went to youth matches. We went to reserve matches.
We went to the mall, yeah.
Every youth match and reserve match, we'd sit up there. Paddy Crerand would be sat there, wouldn't he? And we'd be sat in amongst of them, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Gregg used to sit in the stands with his wife
Yeah,
just before
yeah.
she died.
Yeah,
didn't she?
yeah. Because he lost his first
He
wife,
lost
didn't
his
he? Yeah.
first wife,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when you went down to Wembley in '63, you're saying that you just basically walked up to Wembley early and said, "Can we have a look around the dressing room?"
Well, that's
And they
right.
let you in,
Yeah,
Mm.
we
which
went.
again is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
which is unbelievable. About 11 o'clock, asked, could we go round? And I always remember it was it was just white. It was quite really
Bland.
bland.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a really
Yes.
bland, yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then after the game, Chris, one of your favourite players was
Albert Quicksall.
That's right, isn't it? And
Mm.
after the game in '63, you went round and
At the
asked
back door,
for him to come out and show his medal.
yeah, and he
And
did.
he knew who you were, 'cause obviously standing right next to the tunnel all the time. And
Yeah,
he did come out and show you his winner's medal from
Yeah.
the FA Cup,
that's right.
Yeah,
which again is a great story and something that
Yeah.
probably will be quite difficult to replicate today.
yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
And then kind of moving on to 67 and winning the league. And the game there was, we won 6-1 at Upton Park, and Mum and Chris, you had kind of a bit of a special journey home that day, didn't you? If you want to kind of just go through the story of exactly what happened.
Do you remember getting on the coach?
So you got the train from
Tell us the story of your day.
Oh
Basically.
golly, can't
Succinctly.
remember too much about it, to be honest with you. But I remember coming home on the train, and the train stopped at Stoke, and we had to get off. I think there was a breakdown or something, and oh wait a minute, was that the semi-final or the final?
No, it was after when United beat West Ham 6-1 at
to win-
Upton Park.
to win the league. So the team were coming back.
Oh, that's
with
right.
the
Yes,
league
they had
champions,
the league.
with
That's
the league
right,
trophy.
the League Cup. Yes, that's right. Beg your pardon. Yes, we didn't know how we were going to get back from Stoke, so we decided because we knew the players were going home on a coach, we'd just go and see them and congratulate them. And we went outside to the coach and sort of waved to the players and said congratulations. And then Matt Busby and Jimmy Murphy came up to us and said hello and how are we getting home? And we said, well, we've no idea, we're just going to find out later whether we can get a bus or something. And so I said, well, why don't you come on the coach? So, very kindly, they let us come on the coach, and we sat on the front seat, didn't we, near the door. All the players and everything in the cut were in the back, and they drove us back to Manchester. So that was
And do you remember much on?
very
remember
special.
Were the players in fine voice?
Oh yeah,
bus,
yeah,
everybody
we were,
was
yeah.
The league
But
champions.
Singing.
yes,
And
yes,
I think you said Bill Fowkes came up and spoke to you. A few players came up and spoke to you, but you were just at the front, and obviously
yes,
you were a bit,
yes,
it was obviously quite a major moment to have
Yes.
the Man United league
definitely,
winning team
yes,
at the back of the
yes,
bus that you're on.
yes. It was a very special occasion, yes.
Yeah. And again, an experience that would be.
Yeah, because Matt Busby was just a wonderful person. He was so grateful to the supporters and everything like that as well.
Your general memories of Matt as obviously
Yes.
very fond
Mm.
memories of
Yes.
all the
Yeah,
players.
he was very nice. He
Definitely,
was lovely.
yes.
Always acknowledged us when we used to
Yeah.
come to
If
the
he used to speak to you, he'd just top his hat.
his top his
Yeah.
hat and say,
Yeah.
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 Well, when we were in
Hello,
London,
ladies.
we'd get back and he'd go, well, there was 3 other ladies used to go, older than us, probably
Yes,
10 years
yes.
older, and they used to give them apples and things, and he used to go like this, good evening, ladies, and then we'd come along and he'd go, good evening, girls. Didn't he? He called us girls. Yeah.
Yes, he
Yeah.
He really
Always,
was.
didn't
You
he?
couldn't-
Yeah. Always acknowledged
Couldn't
us, didn't
fault
he?
him, yes.
No.
He was,
Yeah.
again, very grateful for the
He was,
support
yeah. They all
everybody
was, weren't
gave.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he took an interest in you as fans, and you know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
got,
Mm.
you know,
Yes.
we did. But we were very lucky, I suppose, that we actually stood in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
You
we
can see on that photo
yeah,
there,
where
yeah,
we
yeah,
stood was where the
Yeah.
players come out.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have happened to somebody who stood over the other side,
No.
would it?
No. No.
We could
these
see
ones
the
are-
players, all the players in the tunnel, and we got to know them type of, didn't we?
See there, God,
Yeah.
There's Chris and there's
Mm.
Julie on it.
Yeah.
Those.
You
Yeah.
can see
So we
exactly where
stood.
you
Yeah.
stood.
Always stood.
Yeah,
Mm.
and we just stood there for years, didn't we?
Yeah.
In the same
Absolutely.
places. So
Yes.
Yeah, when he came out of the tunnel, he went up the steps. He always used to acknowledge you there.
Yeah.
yes, he did, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
When
yeah.
he's going into the dugout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he used
Yeah.
to sit up behind Chris. He
Right.
had the seat where you stood. He stood. He sat behind you, didn't
Yeah.
he?
Yes.
As it went up the terrace.
Yes.
Yeah, always there, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
with Jimmy Murphy.
Yeah.
And was it Hardman?
Yeah, yeah,
That's right. The,
Yeah.
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 How did he compare to Sir Alex then? Because I understand that you all, well,
Chris
certainly-
did.
Chris.
Knew Sir Alex
Oh,
better.
very much so.
Yeah.
She did.
Because Chris went on supporting them for all the time.
Over 50 years,
but,
hasn't she?
Yes.
Mm.
But he got children to look after, and so we didn't go as regularly as
Mm.
Chris. So Sir Alex took Chris to his heart, I think, because she'd been there so many times. Every match,
Yeah.
she was
Sat
there.
in the same place.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
stood in the
No,
same
so
place.
basically, yeah, to explain when so obviously you can see from the pictures there where you
Yeah.
stood when it was all standing, when it went all seated. Chris, they gave
Yeah,
you
that was
the
in-
seat where you'd stood
That's
for the
right.
previous 30 years.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
have to ask the club for that, or did they just kind of say, here's your seat? Because obviously
No,
when it
it
went,
was standing there.
yeah,
Um,
and then they gave you the seat where you'd stood for
That's
so long
right.
because you'd been there for
we
so
were
long.
all,
Mm.
Yeah.
all standing there,
Yeah, and then because I met Sir Alex at a dinner and I mentioned about my mum going and he remembered, and I mentioned about Chris, and he said, "Oh, Chris," he said, "bloody hell, she gives me hell when we lose." That's what he said.
Yes, she would. She would.
That was his memory.
Never.
There's the man with
Wasn't
this-
frightened,
Yeah.
speaking of mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
what I think was a bit frightening to you, Chris.
Oh, and it's fantastic that, as I say, later on in life, like Chris has not been well for the last couple of years, and he's wrote to her. He's actually found out where she lived and wrote her a letter, which I have got on my iPad because Chris couldn't find it, but I did take the letter down, and I'll show it you. Get it
He
up for
really
you.
appreciated.
Oh, he did. He must do. Have you seen this
Definitely,
letter?
Definitely,
It's
yeah.
fantastic. Let's see where it is.
Because he's basically looking down from the director's
There we
box and he's seeing that you.
If anybody,
you're
if you
nice.
want to read it and see it, say out. That's to Chris, to a home address and everything.
Maybe, can Chris read it out?
No.
Can you read it for
Can-
Chris?
can you read it?
Can you read it for Chris?
Do you want me? It's
I'll
all
have
right.
Don't know where I put my glass. Oh,
Do
yeah.
you want me
now.
to do it now? Right.
Can you read it off?
No, with my eyes.
Jackie, just
Oh.
tell us what's on, just if you
Oh, no.
explain, Jackie, what's on the
It's gone
iPad.
off.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, I've pressed something and
Right,
I've got
let's have a look.
Roger Burns' wedding.
That's
Oh, right.
okay.
There you
Yeah.
are.
So, Tim was just saying there, just
ex-
explain
for the
also this is
benefit
a
of the
letter.
camera, just tell us what's on the
So it's a
iPad
letter.
and then read it out. So what is that there?
It's a letter from Manchester United to Miss Christine Edwards, and it's signed by Alex Ferguson, CBE. Shall I read it out?
If you, yeah.
Dear Christine, it was so nice to see you on Saturday in your normal place. I think they should build a statue on that spot where you are, and all your friends of the past have stood for half a century. It really is an amazing display of loyalty to Manchester United, and I hope your health picks up and you are able to keep going there for a good few years more. You couldn't have picked a better moment to go on Saturday. It was a really united performance. Maybe they did it for you. Christine, I can't thank you enough for your loyalty to our great club, but also for your support to me when I was there. You are a star. I hope you are able to glance down from the director's box, and I hope I'll be able to glance down from the director's box and see you standing there in your usual spot for many years. Take care and God bless. Alex Ferguson.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's just wonderful, isn't it? That he took the time out to do that.
Yeah.
So wonderful. And she did say she had another one. She's had another one since. You've had another one since, haven't you? Yeah.
That's amazing, Chris. You must make, that's...
Must make you so proud.
Well,
He's
it
not
is,
right,
and she
he's not-
deserves
Well,
it.
she does deserve
All
it,
the
like,
years
she
she's
does.
gone.
Absolutely.
All the years she's
Never
done
hardly
it.
missed anything.
She's hardly missed a match, has she? No.
Again, that's a comparison between Sir Matt and Sir Alex, that they were very, that they're both very in tune with the fans.
Oh,
Yes.
very much so. Very much so, both of them, weren't they?
Definitely.
Very, yeah.
Definitely.
Which is fantastic, isn't
Yes.
it? Mm.
Can we move on now to 1968?
Yeah.
What are your memories of let's talk about the semi-final first, the Paddy story.
So 68, the 3-3 draw at the Bernabeu Stadium. You
Yes,
and Chris,
yes.
Chris were there, so...
Yes, we were sat quite near the edge of the pitch, and we watched the game. Obviously, it was brilliant. And there was one section when Paddy Crown was tackled, I think, and I don't quite know what happened, but he had a chain round his neck and he lost it. So after the game, we always stood there and waited for the crowd to go. So after the game, we were still stood in our places, weren't we? And Paddy came out looking all along the pitch, and he said that he'd lost his necklace.
And he
so,
recognised you, obviously, from the game.
yeah, so Chris said, do you want us to come and help you look for it? So he said, you can do. So we popped over the fence onto the pitch and helped to look for it. We didn't find it, but we tried to help him, and that was it. He just went then back down the tunnel, and we went out and waited for them to come out, and they went home, and we went, and we
You've seen
went.
Paddy since, though, haven't you?
Oh yes, yes, yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you
It was-
there's a photograph somewhere. Have you,
I
did
haven't
you discuss
seen-
it with Paddy?
We know Paddy all right.
So you saw them at the Palace game, didn't you?
It was the
Yeah.
Crystal Palace game.
Yeah.
It was my 80th birthday, and Phil took me to Old Trafford to the game, and he knows, he lives in Dublin, and he knows Paddy's nephew, is it?
Yeah.
Nephew. So
Saw the
But-
photos.
we were stood in the tunnel, under the tunnel, well, just near the tunnel, and Paddy came out and was talking to his nephew.
And he said to us, you said, I remember you, Paddy, and you said, I remember,
I remember you.
Yeah.
And he gave me a hug.
Yeah, he gave you a hug, and he was talking about how he remembered all the girls who used to stand near the tunnel, and he says, I just couldn't believe that you were in so bloody early. That's what he said.
Oh,
That's what he said.
oh.
And so
Paddy.
after the game, we
Went into the international suite
went
and
into the international suite, and Paddy was in there,
we met him, we had a
and
good
we
chat.
met him and had a chat. And
You remembered the Bernabeu incident, yeah?
he did, yes. We didn't talk about it particularly then.
No,
But
I know he remembered about you being on the bus
Yes,
in 67 because
yes.
he scored in the 6-1, so
That's
he was,
right,
he was
yeah.
happy to talk about
Yeah,
him scoring the goals in
So,
the 6-1.
we were at Old Trafford, and that is a lovely photograph of him.
Yeah.
Being kind, he came over and spoke to us in the suite, and he very kindly autographed.
You're 68.
The programme from the final.
From the pro, yeah.
Just there.
That is-
Yeah, just show us what that is. Tell us what that is, please, Jackie.
It's the final, Benfica Manchester United, the final programme, and Peggy very kindly signed it when we were there for my 80th
Oh.
birthday. He was really, really very good.
What are your main memories of the semi-final in against Rail? Obviously, you travelled to that. Travelling to an away game then was probably quite an adventure, I would imagine.
Can you remember very much about it, Chris? To be honest, I can't.
Yeah, 'cause
What thing
since
we've
we've done so many.
we used to get tickets from the ground, didn't we?
Yeah. I think we were at one
Can't remember.
Did you have
too-
to have tokens then? Do you remember when we used to have to
We
save the
did,
tokens
we
up?
had,
Oh,
yeah.
That's how you got your
Yeah.
tickets, didn't you, in
Yeah, we
those
had
days?
when
You had to have so many
So we don't-
tokens on a card, didn't
when
you?
you went to matches in your in the programmes, there were tokens
Yeah,
that you could collect,
you had to collect them.
Oh,
and you had to collect so many of them to get the tickets.
So you
and
could.
also, if
for
it
the
was
away
an away
games.
match, you had
Away
to keep the
games.
front of the
Yeah.
That's
the
right,
away
yeah.
matches,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yes.
So it was vital that
right.
you always got a programme, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really,
Yes.
3
because
o'clock in the morning we were
yeah,
queuing up.
Queuing up to
Yeah.
get the tickets.
Mm.
Yes. I can't remember the actual journey. I can't remember how we actually travelled there.
But it was amazing, obviously, the semi-final was as far as Busby Babes had ever got. As
Yes.
well.
Mm.
Yes.
So to
Yeah.
be, for United to be in their first European final
Yeah.
and to witness it,
Yes.
again, as we were saying, in abroad, which wouldn't have happened as much as it would do now. I
No.
know you went to Benfica in '66 and Real in '68. So just the feeling of we're getting through to a European Cup final and it's at Wembley must have been a great
Wonderful.
moment
Yes.
to look
Yeah.
forward to.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely.
Did you all
Yeah.
go to the final in '68?
no,
No, I
no,
just Chris
no,
and
we,
I.
us two
We
didn't. No.
Just Chris and I.
No.
Mm.
So what are your memories of
Mm.
the final then?
I can remember getting there early as usual.
That was it. I could remember that.
Just standing round the ground, and then the actual we were stood in the stands. Sort of the goal was there, and we were sat here where Bobby Charlton scored the last goal, and where I think it was Alex Stepney made an exceptional save from Eusebio, and it was just absolutely wonderful the way they played. We were really thrilled, weren't we?
Yeah.
It was a hot night, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I can remember I just had a dress on. I didn't have a coat or anything like that. It was really, really lovely. And to be able to see all the players with Matt Busby afterwards on the pitch was very
Yeah, it
emotional.
was. Yeah,
Really
I watched
was
it on
emotional.
television and I remember it. And
Yeah.
you were so happy, weren't you,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
the
way
players that
the
had
players came
that died and everything. They was all
hugged him and
hugging him,
everything
weren't they,
like
on it?
that,
I remember
yes.
watching it on
Yes,
the TV
yes.
because that's where I watched it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a feeling of full circle. It's a
Absolutely.
feeling,
Oh.
of
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
was so cruelly
Yeah.
interrupted in
Yeah.
58
Yes, that's right.
in the worst
And for
way
them to
possible.
do it for Matt Busby,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
now we've come
Got
back.
tears now.
Mm.
No, but
Yeah.
we've recreated a team,
Yes,
and our
Mm.
team is Kings of Europe.
yes.
And it's all dedicated to those that went before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
those
It wasn't-
For,
it was
and then
just-
for
those
Matt
that
Busby.
perished.
It wasn't a normal victory as big as a European Cup victory is.
No,
You know,
no.
Oh,
it
it's
was
so
just-
much bigger, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
wonderful.
it meant so much
Wonderful.
more.
It
Yeah.
did.
emotion.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was for other people as well, all the
Yes.
people who'd gone.
Yes.
And for Bobby Charlton and Matt Busby.
Yes.
I
yeah.
mean,
Harry
Bobby-
Gregg.
yeah.
Harry Gregg.
Harry
Bill
Gregg.
Fowles.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Mm.
Yeah, very emotional.
It was.
Veronica, we talked about the Burnabout before. You've been, although you didn't go in '68,
No.
you did go
Yeah,
the year
in-
after Munich, didn't you?
yeah, in '59. And it was when they had these matches on that I think Real Madrid put on, helped Manchester United to get back on the feet, I think, and things like this. I think they came to United and we went there to watch them then.
How would you just, if you were talking to younger people now, I'm talking about people that are perhaps in their 20s or even younger, how would you put across the Manchester United story, that period from 58 to 68? You know, all of you. How would you describe it?
But it's just how
Well-
things have changed over the years.
It was a fascinating experience.
fascinating.
It's that to think now, when you think back on it, how close you could have got to the players and how
Yes.
you felt part of it,
Yes.
didn't you?
Yeah.
You felt
made
part of
feel
that
part
team,
of
didn't
it,
you?
didn't they, as well?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It was.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't get that today, would you? That
No.
feeling,
No.
I don't think.
No, I
You
don't.
wouldn't see the coach outside, people going for lunch. It's not like that now, is it? It's
No.
the players came out
Well,
on the
I don't
side and
know.
anybody could speak to them. Anybody, you could stand by the cars, couldn't you?
Yes.
And the cars, I believe now, they're probably all in the car park with security, aren't they?
Yeah.
I would imagine now, and everything,
Yeah.
aren't they? So it's a very much a feeling of being part
More
of
of a family.
a
type
family,
thing,
being part
really,
of that
isn't
club,
it?
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You-
felt
you
part
was
of it, didn't we?
Manchester United at that
That's
time,
what we
wasn't
felt.
you?
They,
That's
they
how
were
you
our
felt.
boys, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
like, you know what I mean, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely.
You've been through an emotional journey together, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Essentially.
yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
difficult to speak to the supporters of today because I don't think they would understand
No.
quite how we got a relationship with the players and the club and everything. It's completely different now.
Mm.
It would be just tell them to enjoy the matches and have a favourite player or whatever. And
Yeah.
But I think you can't underestimate your value to the club as well from that time, bringing on the next generation of fans. Just speaking personally, it took me when I was 6 years old, and so the feeling of taking the next generation when you've had that love for the club
yes,
and been
yes,
through this emotional journey, and to kind of pass it down, pass the gene
to
down.
the
Mm.
children, yes,
must
the
have been a good thing when
grandchildren.
you were aware of what you were doing at the same
Yeah.
time.
Oh yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I passed
Yeah.
it down to my children.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
son is the
Exactly.
same. He's all
I mean, my
Manchester
daughter still
United
goes
and
to the
everybody,
matches
yeah.
now with me.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
we
That's
have a
what I mean,
seat
you can't-
there.
You can't underestimate the way that
no.
you've created literally the support of
Mm.
today.
Yes,
Mm.
yes,
Mm.
yeah.
Your
How do you
Mark's,
sum up what
sorry.
it means to you to be a Manchester United fan? We'll start with, go across the wall. What does it mean to be a Man United fan?
Oh, for me, it's just everything. It's fantastic to be a Manchester United fan. I'm so glad. I experienced going to Bolton. They were very good, but there was excitement there. It was thrilling, and just to be part of that has been fantastic.
Vera?
Well, pretty much the same for me, really. You know, it's just that buzz that you get when you go into the match. You just got this feeling that, you know, you want them to play well, you want them to win. You know, such a great club with what they've achieved over the years. You want them to carry on achieving. Hopefully we can do that. But time will tell. But that's what Manchester United means to me, just to be part of that family. You know.
Jackie?
Yes, I agree. Obviously, I don't go now as often as I used to, only occasionally when Phil takes me. But I still feel the joy when I walk into the ground. It's really emotional again, because you've had such a wonderful time going to matches, going abroad and watching them and celebrating with them. It's just been a tremendous thing happening in your life.
Chris?
Do you want to
does it
say?
mean
What was
to
it?
be a
What,
Man United fan, what does it feel like?
what does it feel
What does it
like
mean
to you? You, how many years have you been a Manchester United fan? Do you feel very proud that you've been a United supporter for so long,
Yeah.
and you've enjoyed everything that
Everything.
you've seen there, and all the experiences you've had with the players and talking to you, and and Alex talking to you?
I think there's a lot of love two ways for people like Chris and all of you. I think there's a love for a supporter for their club, but honestly, I think the club loves people like you back.
Yeah,
Chris, they really
definitely.
do.
Yeah, like this
You're
one,
the fabric of
definitely.
the place.
She is.
Yeah.
She is,
Absolutely.
Chris. She really is.
Yeah.
She is.
Because
She-
without
she-
that kind of support,
No.
Yeah,
She's
No,
devoted
can
her
exist
whole
on
life
there,
to
no.
Manchester United.
Well, the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is, when every time United were on the television, I watched on television now, and you'd always see Chris.
Chris
You'd go,
stood
"Oh, there's
there."
Chris,"
Yes,
wouldn't you?
yes,
Everybody,
yeah.
even my children know now. They look and they go, "Oh,
There's
there's Chris,"
Chris.
and you
Every
go,
match,
"There's
yeah.
Chris." Everybody sees Chris.
There's Chris, yeah.
Yeah.
even the famous
Yeah.
footage of when in '93 when we scored the 2 goals late against Wednesday to pretty much get the Premier League for the first time since '67. You see Alex run down onto the pitch.
Yeah,
run
there's
straight past
Chris.
you, and you can
There's
see
Chris.
Jumping
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
through every iconic moment
Yeah.
of United's history,
yes.
you know, since the '50s.
Yes,
No.
definitely.
Yeah. Chris has been there.
Yeah.
She's
Yes.
been there. And
Yeah.
on television quite a lot, haven't you? In the background and
Well,
everything. You're
Did
always
anybody
there.
come and ask for your
Yeah,
autograph?
you're always there.
For from actually where we sit in Sir Alex
Silver.
Ferguson's stand, before it starts to fill up, you can see Chris. Well, you could see
Yeah,
Chris sat there,
I was
and
there,
I used
yeah.
to point her out to
Early.
my daughter.
Yeah.
I said, "There's Chris
Yeah.
in a usual seat, yet
Mm.
again."
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's a love of passing down the
Yeah.
generations as well. I remember when United, me and my brother, after my mum had instilled the gene, as it were, we were there at the new camp in '99. We came home, had a big hug in the kitchen with my mum, and it was
Did
an
you?
emotional thing. It was like
Oh,
she'd seen '68, I'd seen '99, and it's,
Right.
you didn't need to say anything. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, that's
You
right.
know, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's what Mum's saying about the love of passing it down. Now we've picture up there on the wall. We've now had the 3 generations thing, and like
Yes.
okay, and my daughter's called Georgie. She's named after George Best. So
Oh, is she?
it's just
Oh,
instilling it
right. Yeah.
all the way
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
and
Just
going,
carrying
you know,
it on and on, isn't
Yeah.
it?
yeah, and I could see it was very emotional for Mum to have that and to take
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
to keep it going, because as I say, the love that you've got for the club. And when we went to the Palace game, and there was a gentleman who sits near Chris, who was helping the 2 of you down the stairs. He looked at me as we were helping you down the stairs after the game, and he said to me and said, "Mate, we are not Man United fans." He
Right.
said, pointed at Chris and my mum and said, "These are Man United fans."
Yeah, they are Manchester
Mm.
United fans, yeah.
That's
Chris
the
is
kind of stuff.
Manchester United.
Absolutely.
She's Manchester,
Absolutely.
part of
Yeah.
Manchester United, isn't she?
They should have
Definitely.
a statue put
They
up.
should for her. And I'm sure Alex
Without a
Ferguson will
doubt.
agree.
He will.
Yeah.
And previous
I'm
managers.
sure
I
he
mean,
would. Yeah.
she was very friendly with Tommy Docherty, wasn't you, when he was
Yeah.
manager?
Wasn't
Do you
it?
remember, wasn't you? You loved him, didn't you, as well? Quite a lot of them, haven't you?
Yes.
It's not just
Yeah.
Alex, she knew
Yeah.
lots of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, always there.
What couple?
Yeah.